Welcome back, everybody, to another YouTube video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to explain what Aimchess is, because I've talked about Aimchess in the last 3 videos. Their code's down there. 1 month, try it out. Use code Hokie30, save 30%. That way you're not paying for a whole month. You can do the yearly subscription if you like the whole month. Um, that's the way I would do it if I didn't already have, you know, something like this. I would pay for a month. If I enjoyed it, then go on and maybe subscribe for the yearly plan if I felt like I was going to continue to use it, which I am, so I will. But again, code Hokie30 in the bottom, Instagram here, Twitch there. Let's jump into it. I'm already on the website, so I'm already logged in and everything. This is, this is the website. The app looks different. It's very just vertical on the app, but it's still very organized and everything like that. So one of the things I really liked at first when I first downloaded the app last year was you had the recap, which last year was 2020. This year's gonna be 2021, of course. So if you played on chess.com at all last year, Lead Chess at all last year, Chess24 at all last year, you get your highlights, recaps, things like that. And I'll kind of go into a little bit here. So you got your chess.com, your Lead Chess, and your Chess24. I think I played mostly on Lead Chess, which which is kind of surprising because I started on chess.com, but we'll just go through my recap, see what I had. So I played for 5,800 minutes last year. That's a long time. I'm not going to go into detail on how long it is. I played against Chess Kudo. I played him against in 18 games. Now, for reference, Chess Kudo is very high rated, much higher rated than I am, much more skilled, been doing it for a lot longer than me. So obviously I lost, and I managed to draw, and it was like a 1-1. I didn't win it at all, but I drew one game. So, um, when my opponents knew the game was over, they resigned. I won more by resignation than checkmate or time. Um, but I won by checkmates, 192 times, resignation 264, and time 75 times. When I was playing with the black pieces, I was winning about half my games. As white, I was winning about a little under half. So, favorite opening was this is a Stafford Gambit. Learned it from Eric Rosen. Shout out Eric Rosen. Check out his YouTube if you want to learn some dubious stuff. Him and Vampire Chicken. I believe it's just Jonathan Strauss on YouTube. Um, Most successful opening is white was the bishop's opening, just because it's tricky. Kind of starts out to the Italian. You can go with the Ursoff Gambit, which is what I played, which is you get here, black plays something, I believe it's knight f6, and then you just play d4. E captures, knight captures, whatever it plays from there. Yeah, there it is. So the Ponziano Gambit, which transposes to the Ursoff Gambit. Very good win rate, 42%. Was the best of my white openings. As anything I played. I played 633 blitz games, which is anything 5 minutes or less. Rapid games, I played 386. Rapid is generally 10 minutes or more. Correspondence is daily games. Classical is longer games, 45, 60 minutes. And then bullet are 1 minute games, and hyper bullet is 30 seconds. I don't play hyper bullet at all. You cannot pay me to play hyper bullet. I played almost 30,000 moves, mostly pawn moves, knight, bishop, rook, king, queen. I played almost as many queen moves as king moves, which means I don't use my queen that much. It's all right. Or I traded him early, or I would blunder it. It's all good. So 5,800 minutes is 97 hours. So there's your math on that. I kept time advantage in 55% of my games, which is kind of surprising. This is my highest rated win, and yeah, it was against Logic in a tournament game. And of course, he was rated 2159. I was rated about 14 or 1500. Very good win. Even though I looked at this game afterwards, and he has a tactic here. All he had to do is play knight here, or just move the knight at all. And after takes, then he can take this bishop for free, and it's completely fine for him. Um, but he didn't see it. It was the last game in that tournament. I had more wins on Wednesday than any other day by like, Wednesday and Sunday were tied at 50%, 55%. Um, I played against 920 different opponents. There's the chess kudos stat again. Most games played in April, 370 of them. This was my fastest win against your boy C-Pen, which was early in the year. This is like January, February, March-ish. This was in another tournament. Zomig 12. This was maybe I think this is the Zomig 12 300 follower tournament in which I did stream that tournament, from a hotel. Um, Very easy, very quick win. Only took 6 moves. Um, of course, I started at 1500 because when you start on Lichess, it starts you out at 1500 automatically. Dropped down to 1100 and then got my way back up and then quit playing around here. So there were several months where I just didn't play. And then I got back into it towards the end of the year, but I've not played any Blitz since that time. Um, Again, the Bishop's opening. My most popular openings: the Stafford Gambit, the Three Knights, Bishop's opening, which is the one above, the England Gambit, which is D4, E5. Can be tricky. And then, of course, your Urasov Gambit, which were 29 games because it classified everything else as a Ponziano Gambit. The most games I played in a row were 61. Whichever way you castle, whether you castle kingside, queenside, or you don't castle at all, I tend to win castling kingside, but just because I did it so much. In the second tab, I had 542 games where I castled kingside, and 400 where I didn't castle at all. So no castling, generally not good. Of course, when I won overall win rate, I won 49%, lost 48%. So I won more than I lost. I won 531, lost 525. So there were 6, and then 32 draws. My longest win streak was 12 in a row, which is really good. Really hard to accomplish. March 14th, I gained 95 points in rating, which is really good. And then in March, just overall, I gained 256 elo, which is your rating. I played at least once a day for 3 days in a row. Apparently, I've not done better than that, which is kind of surprising because I would stream so much. Of course, my favorite opening was the Stafford Gambit, which I won 55% of the time in over 150 games. Didn't have any Smother Mates, which we'll get into that at some point down the road. En passant, it's a French move. You can only play it if you've got French blood in you. I have that privilege. I'm not French. But yeah, so there's all that. That would be your recap. So if you did it for like chess.com, you have the same thing for chess.com, Chess24, Chess24, whatever. Yeah, okay. So we can go to new report or whatever, but we'll just go back to this first page. Now your 360 trainer, I've already done everything for today. So I did a little bit earlier today, just kind of getting back into what everything looks like. Tactics, just helping you work on your tactics. Blunder Preventer, so it gives you 2 options of moves, and you have to kind of see what your opponent's best move is at the time, and then choose the right move, because it gives you 2 options. You choose the right move according to not blunder mate or to lose a piece. There's a lot that has to do with, what is it called? I'll remember here in a minute. Anyway, something I found earlier that I thought was super interesting was analytics. Oh, okay, these are your scoutings. Okay, things like that. So I did one earlier today. And basically, what it does is it takes your last 40 games that you've played, generally within the last few months, and it gives you, your overview. So my opening understanding is 85%. So I tend to play Pretty solid in the openings. My time management's a little low, but not that bad. Tactics, I tend to see about the same amount of tactics as my peers. I do tend to miss them as well. My end game is a little bit better than people in my same rating. Advantage capitalization, meaning when I'm up in material, say I'm up a piece or I'm up a pawn, I tend to do worse than people rated my level, but again, it's all, you know. I've had games being up a piece and I got checkmated because I was being careless because I was up a piece. Resourceful, when you're down material, you fight back. I tend to fight back better when down material than if I were up material. Um, just things like that. And of course, it's got all question marks. It's like it's all about average, except for the opening. It's a little above average, but it's not good enough to give a green check. Of course, the only real issue is advantage capitalization, being up material and then losing. Um, with the white pieces, I tend to win half my games. With black, I win 40%. It's because I'm a lot more comfortable with opening as white and with my openings as black. So if my opponent plays e4, I've got nothing. But if my opponent plays d4, I'll play knight f6 just because that's an opening I'm going to understand. Because if you play d4 against me, I'll probably win. Uh, if one of the people who used to play me before is seeing this, he's probably like bet because I taught him an opening that sent him to the moon. Uh, so opening, of course, and then you've got overall score after 15 moves on average. So I'm generally almost a pawn up, which is really not crazy. It's still almost average, especially when you're lower rated like I am. It's not that much of an advantage. But if you're like a super grandmaster or whatever, you're a titled player, it's huge. Um, Generally, after the opening, I'm up even higher as white, and as black, it's almost always equal coming out of the opening. My popular opening is a Zuckertort, which if you watched the last video, this is the exact opening I played, knight f3, d5, d3. I don't remember if my opponent went d5 or not, but it went something along these lines because he blundered a pawn on e5. The Caro-Kann, the Indian game, the yeah, these three are all openings as black. The Indian is the one that I'm most comfortable with. I gain an early advantage with the opening, even though 0.7 is white. It says I've not been able to turn it into many victories, which is fair because I'm still kind of learning that one, even though I know the complete opposite of it very well. Because in the middle game, I'm up almost 2 pawns, which is pretty much half a piece. The 4 knights seems to do well for me, even though my opponent never goes into a 4 knights. The Pierce defense, I know it says perk, go for perk 30. No, but PIRC, you call it the perk defense or the Pierce defense. It's pronounced both ways. The Zuckertort, Queenside Fianchetto is generally not good for white, and it's an opening I've played but managed to lose, despite being up, almost 2 points of material. And then you've got your Sicilian defense, Kramnik. I don't even know what this is. I've probably played it one time and ended up winning. I don't know. Advantage capitalization, again, being up material, resourcefulness, being down material, and then coming back to win. So I was able to win, 35% of games where I was down material. Or win or at least draw. Tactics, just seeing things. End games. So I've won 9 out of the last 18 end games I've been in, which an end game is just after you lose a queen, or after you trade queens. You kind of start trading material down into an end game, or you try to win, which is a little more difficult. Yeah, than just trading down, in my opinion. I think it's easier to win a pawn end game than it is to win a game with like rook versus rook and 4 pawns and yeah, rook and 4 pawns versus rook and 4 pawns. Equal games like that. I think it's a little bit harder. Equal end games I lose, but if I'm down in the end game, I win. If I'm up in the end game, I win. Just yeah. See, I told you, rook and 4 pawns is hard, but rook and 4 pawns, I can win. No, I can't, but I'm sure somebody can. Time management, of course, I'm generally about equal to my opponent on the clock because I'm trying to just think. Wins per day. As of currently in the last 40 games that I've played, I tend to win more on Sundays. It's 2 out of 3 games. Tuesday I played 1 game. Thursday I played 1 game. Won both those games. Sundays I played 6 games, and I guess I won 4 out of 6. And on Monday, you got a nice little flag here. Played 3 games, win, loss, draw. So that's what you're looking at when you do your scouting reports. You do your statistics. It's based off of the app you used when you first started. So when I first started on Aimchess, I was using chess.com a lot more. Obviously, I'm not using it anymore because all these lines are all parallel. Nothing's happening. There's no up and down. Nothing crazy. And you can practice all this stuff. So if you notice like any of this stuff's trending down, your resourcefulness. Say, you're down on material, but you've got opportunity to get material back, or you've got initiative for the material loss, but you're trending down on it, and you're not doing so hot. Well, you can practice that, and you practice in games that you've been in before. End games, same thing. If it's trending down, if you're starting to struggle with end games, it'll throw you some end game puzzles that you can start sorting out. Tactics that may have been in your games, tactics that you see often, tactics that you just keep having an issue with seeing, as opposed to tactics that you're doing really well with. Advantage capitalization again being up, just kind of keep winning material, keep taking things. Um, we all like free stuff, so we'll go back from that. Explorer. This is what I saw earlier. Look at this. You've got endgame training. You've got a blockade in the endgame. Exchanging pieces because you've got a passed pawn that's going to go and be a queen. You've got open file, so rooks sliding over and controlling everything where there's nothing blocking it. Um, Pawn islands, that's separated pawns. Pawn majority. You've got 4 pawns versus 3 pawns. Look at Zugzwang, where you can move, but if your opponent moves, then they're going to lose material on the next turn, on your next move. Just things like that. And then you've got middle game prep, which is new. See, this is all new. Advantages of double pawn. So when your opponent takes a piece and they've doubled pawns on the same file, which opens a file, but makes it harder if you get down into an end game for those pawns to really do anything. A backwards pawn, a pawn that's sitting back and has got 2 pawns in front of it, which has been provoked by a certain move, makes the pawn in the middle weak, which weakens the other 2 pawns. Generally, you can sack material and win the 2 pawns, so you give up a piece, but you get 3 pawns for the piece, which is equal material overall. Just takes a little bit of time to win it all. A bad bishop, so a bishop that is stuck on squares where it can't do anything, or it's stuck behind pawns, or it's stuck defending a pawn or two, and it really can't move. Disadvantages of double pawns: the closed center, where you've got to maneuver knights around, or maybe you have to get rooks, or you have to find a pawn break. Uh, Double bishops, advantage in the middle game, so you've got 2 really strong bishops that just cover the entire board. Generally, you want your bishops on the longest diagonal possible. That's why a lot of people will fianchetto their bishops by playing g3 and b3, or g6 and h6, to get those bishops to g7, b7, or g2 and b2. Improving pieces in the middle of the game. Just making everything better. Just kind of getting everything sorted out, taking space. Being prophylactic, not allowing your opponent really to do what they want to do. Open file in the middle game. Just move your rooks over. Take as much space as you can. Attacking the castled king. Finding out how to, I guess, sacking material for a very strong initiative or checkmate. Um, Playing against an isolated pawn. Isolated pawns can be scary, but generally very weak. Semi-open files. If there's 1 pawn or something in the middle, semi-open file. Restricted pieces. A knight that gets trapped. a bishop that's stuck behind two pawns, and there's a rook and a knight on the other side of it, and none of it can move. Just stuff that gets stuck. Opposite colored bishops, generally a draw, unless you find a way to trap it or trade it for something else. Opponent's weaknesses after development. Maybe they develop too slowly, and you've got the initiative. You're taking the space. You're attacking, and they're still trying to get their pieces out. Just all this stuff, just crazy. And then you've got you're oh not even this is you can kind of detail it down to attacking concepts or strategic concepts. Your bishops, your blockades, your close centers, your pawns in the middle game, all that fun stuff. You can go for your openings, your center control. E4, D4. Bishops out, knights out, or knights before bishops. Whatever helps you. A king in the center. Make the king walk. Generally, if anyone plays a bomb cloud, you'll get this. Don't move pieces that already developed. Don't move a piece twice in the opening. Don't move the knights to the outside unless you absolutely have to. Unnecessary pawn moves. There's no reason to play d3 and then d4 the next move. It's a waste of tempo. Don't bring the queen out too early. It's a target. If you bring your queen out, it's a target. It helps your opponent develop, and you're having to move your queen again. Weakening the castled king. Sacrificing material, or just pushing a pawn. Your knight outpost, your prophylaxis. We talked about this. Comparing moves. So generally, before you make a move, you want to think about 2 or 3 moves you could make, and why they would work, why they wouldn't work. If it's a one move attack, generally, if you have a move and it's just one move, and you have one plan with this one move, but it can be taken care of pretty easily, there's no sense in playing the move. But Super GMs have played moves like that. It's just not very. You're losing time when you do it. Countering the flank attack. Let's say you castle king side, they castle queen side, and they start pushing h5, g5, f5. You got to know how to take care of that. You don't want to get checkmated or have your structure completely taken out by 3 pawns, and then everything else is bishops, queens, knights are just aimed right at you. Exchanging in the defense. Let's say your opponent has a really strong attack going on. Well, you want to kind of numb that attack down, start trading pieces off. Just start getting that attack taken care of. Don't let it happen. Stalemates. When you're in a losing position, just try to draw. Generally, king to the corner, or just trying to trade everything. Bringing more pieces in the defense. Let's say your opponent starts, bringing pieces into attack. You start bringing your knight back. You move your rook over. You bring your queen over. You bring your queen up. You move a knight out. You pull a bishop. Whatever you need to do. And tactics and calculation. So pieces that are attacked, generally this is probably just going to be a counting thing. Let's say your opponent is defending a piece twice. Let's say there's a pawn on e4 defended by a knight and let's say a rook. Let's say they played rook e8 after castling. So let's say there's a pawn on e4 and you have a bishop that attacks it. Let's say you've got a fiend coded bishop that attacks e4. You have a knight that could be attacking e4 from several different places. And let's say you've got your rook on e1 attacking e4. Well, you can just take that. Because no matter how they take back, you're going to end up just winning that pawn. Now, same thing works with knights, bishops, anything that's pinned to another piece. So if you have a rook, pinning a bishop to the queen, well, you can just push a pawn, attack the bishop, and the bishop can't move, or your opponent's going to lose the queen. And sometimes they will, I guess, if they just don't understand the whole tactic. Forcing moves, also known as checks, or generally attacking the queen. Forcing moves can win pieces. Generally, you can win a queen with forcing moves, or a rook, or just a piece in general. You can win pawns if you have queen versus king and pawn endgame. Unprotected pieces. Always look for unprotected pieces and pawns in the game on your opponent's side. And then trap pieces. Generally, this is a knight or a bishop. You can trap a queen. It's just hard to trap a queen. Also trap a rook if your opponent gets a little too greedy. And then a weak king in calculation. Again, attacking its defending pieces and the pawns. Weaken the king. So I thought all this was really interesting. I've not gone through any of this. I've gone through the in-game stuff. Like I've gone through the bishop versus knight. I've gone through these in games before, but they added the middle game, the opening, and then the tactics and all that, which is really cool. Um, yeah, you can. They added this actually very recently. You can play bots now. So they added bots to play, and I struggled with the beginner bot. I didn't struggle with it, but it didn't blunder anything until move 23, which is really weird for a beginner bot. So I'm not. From what I heard, the advanced bot blundered a piece on move 3 to someone in my Discord earlier. And then you've got just your workouts, things like this. And generally they'll do a, chess player of the day. Like today it's Spassky. If you want to learn about Boris Spassky, you can come here and just read up on his quotes, things he said, moves he's played. And you can share it if you want to. But it's just things like that. They've got a personalized study plan for you right here. But and that includes generally some of these tactics, things like this. Yeah. So they want you to play in games. So they want you to play 10 rapid games, 2 classical games, and 4 blitz games. It just helps you your progress. It helps you, with your openings, helps you with your tactics, helps the app kind of develop your play style, and it gives it games for it to go through and look at what you've got going on. So I believe advantage capitalization will take you to one of your games. We'll do auto, just because whatever it wants to do. So let's see. This game, it does not look like I'm winning, but I am, because I'm so close to making a queen here, and I can. So instead of actually that, what? So there is no right or wrong move here. This is just going until you win. So you can sack the queen for the, yeah. And this is just completely winning here. And you just move around, take that, check here, check here. It ain't easy. I ain't gonna say it's easy. I just drew. But it's all right. I mean, it's just all part of the calculation stuff. Again, we're gonna go here. He's gonna take. I'm gonna take. We're gonna go here. Man, but where do you go now? We go here. We'll just bring the king over. Yeah, just kind of cut it off. Win this. You want to stay in an L formation when you're just trying to win with no Strosh. Yeah, force back. Okay. L formation. Come over. Make sure the king still has a square and then checkmate him. Okay. And see, there'll probably. And then this game. Let's see, what's the material advantage here? I'm up a pawn? No, I'm not. The advantage capitalization. What am I up? What's my material advantage? Oh, I'm up a piece. Okay, so I have a bishop and a knight, and he just has a knight. And I've got 2 rooks here and a queen. So I can go here. And then I just win this. After that takes, I just go here. Yeah, okay. There's almost this queen sack line here, but not quite. Let's see. If this pawn wasn't in the way, that'd be great. I'll go here. Okay, so he's making room for the king. I wanted to take this knight. Oh, I really do. Go here. Go here. Ah, he didn't take. Okay. Let's see. Go here. So I'm sacrificing material. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here. It's really close to mate. Oh, but this doesn't work. Okay. I thought that would work, but it doesn't. So now I'm down material. This didn't work so well. I was getting mated. I don't think I remember this game. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure I played this game. I just don't remember this game. What do I do? I think in the game I actually went here, but I don't remember this game very well. But anyway, it takes your games and it tells you opening improver. I did some of this earlier, but I've played this in an opening apparently. I don't know why the hell I would. Okay, so this is better than that. Oh, I remember this. Okay, okay. This is a variation of the Scandinavian Defense. So it's a Leonhardt Gambit is what it is. So really, the knight does go here. That is correct. And then after the queen goes here, because the knight's protected by the bishop. I have had someone take the knight before, but the queen has to go here. So one, it's not a target. Two, the knight is threatening to go here and win this rook. But after the knight goes here, the bishop comes to this square. So we have the knight here, bishop here, and the queen's here. The point is, this queen is so tied down to this, it's not even funny. So after the pawn moves here to try to kick this knight out, you don't even move it. In fact, you take your bishop and you sack it on f7. And after the king takes it, which is not forced, but it's better because yeah, it's just better. Then you have a queen check here, and your knight's still here. But if you block with a pawn, then the knight comes here with check because the king's still here, and then you win the queen. And I've had it happen one time, but still, and it's still all right. It's all feasible. Um, you would think this works, but it doesn't work. Yeah. So you go here, you just attack this. This is just supposed to be some sort of move in the Scotch, but I tend to lose with it. I'm trying to think what would be good. Okay. Okay, so queen check is fine here. I don't know what the point in queen check here is, but it doesn't seem good. So here you can actually, You can play a Jerome Gambit, which is bad. I bet you I did. I did. A Jerome Gambit is just losing by force. Knight there. Yeah, just knight here. Now, I did play b6 in this game to prep for bishop c5 to hit the queen again. But this is fine too because his knight is very, if the pawn pushes, you obviously don't have to take and go here, hitting the queen again. So this move. Okay, so funny enough, I believe there's mate here. I remember this game. This was a long time ago. This is from chess.com. Um, I did win this game. There was a brilliant move in this game, which I believe was like c6 or c5 was a brilliant move. But there's a much faster checkmate, and it's just here. Yeah, I forked the king and won the queen, but I missed mate and won. But I eventually, I believe I got a pawn checkmate in this game. Um, you can play a Berlin here. You can play a6. I mean, this is Roy Lopez. This is a Spanish opening. There's so many things you can do. Yeah, see, it wants a6, but both moves work. Both moves have been played by everybody. Let's see. This looks like my opening. And I believe the move is just e5. No, okay. It's this. Not understanding. I guess it stops the knight from doing anything, but. Okay, so check. You can just go here. Oh, wow. Because that's a human move. Oh. This is fine. Yeah. Getting out of my own check, putting my opponent in check, and winning this pawn while still defending this pawn. No, no, because this is. Yeah, but this is so bad. So generally, I guess the bishop would come back to here and then take the pawn, and then rook here, and I take this pawn. And it's all fine. Let's see. Okay, so you can see the attack is just for this. So if you play this move, you're fine. But I guess if you also play this move, oh, you're blunting the bishop. Ah, I see. It probably wants h6. H6 is the first move that comes to mind. Yeah, I castled. Which is still probably fine. Oh, no, because it allows, this move. This is probably what happened, actually. Opponent's taking no space. Oh, but play the English. Okay, so playing it just like a reverse Sicilian. Okay, so this, and then captures, and then knight takes. It's just like a reverse Sicilian. That's all it is. Let's check. So bring the knight back to block? No, you don't want to block the bishop in. It's development, baby. Knight here. Well, after knight takes here. Yep. Wow. Bishop here. Well, this knight takes here. Yeah. These are all breaking opening principle by moving two pieces. Again, this is the opening I play. I've won this game with ease, I believe. Here, no. Pawn takes. Okay. Oh, but it's bad anymore. I don't get it. I guess you can double up, put pressure on the bishop. And this knight, I don't know. There's nothing crazy. Oh, this is when I first started playing it, though. Okay, all right. Let's see. That's tricky and does nothing. It's a forcing move. It's check. Yeah. All sorts of forcing moves. Obviously, you should push because if you take, your opponent gets all the initiative. This knight can only go backwards here or here. Is it here's bad? Here's bad. I'm sure this might even move. Here's bad, and that's not possible. So yeah, let's move. Keep spatial advantage. Let's see. Castling's probably fine, but no. Oh, kicking this knight away. Oh, that was out of the Stafford Gambit. Wow. I think. What would I play here? Probably castle. It's the right move. I played e5. Why would I play e5? Oh, I guess I wanted this bishop to be open because he's being kiddoed. Okay. Is this free? Yep. Again, it's moving a piece twice in the opening node. Generally, you don't want to. Alright. Queen over is fine. But it's wrong. I knew that was a move. Issue is takes. And then you're hitting the knight. Well, I guess you can bring this bishop back. It's coming back anyway. That's what I played in the game. Guarantee it. See? I told you. I believe it lost too. Just develop. Yeah, exactly. Just develop. Yeah, exactly. A lot of it's just developing moves. Yeah, play here. No, castle. Ah, right. Safety. No idea. Nope. Ah, I hit the queen. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Queen here. And you're fine because you have a piece. Alright, yeah. But that's Aimchess. I just wanted to show y'all what it looked like, what it was. So you know my weekly progress is up to 36%. I've got till Valentine's Day to finish this. It's fine, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I really do. I do appreciate the guys over at Aimchess really really helping me out, allowing me to help them out. But I just wanted to show you guys this, show you what it was like. I know it's a long video. I do apologize about that. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, tell me what I should do next. Go download Aimchess, try it for a month, use code Hokey30, save 30%. You only spend like $5, I believe, after the discount. So for a month, and you get all of that. If you play chess, that's fine. If not, play some chess, then download the app, then use my code. It all works. But it does help with improvement. I noticed some very rapid improvement after I started using Aimchess, and then I started using. I got a coach, and that also helped with improvement. But thank you, everybody. Thanks again. We will see you all in the next video, whatever it may be. Leave a comment. Maybe whatever you comment. See ya.